Talking About It on Sheababytv.
Just calling me daddy, pockets puff shit.
So the
No
vibes,
Diddy.
make sure you go like and subscribe to the channel if you like what's going on, if you like all the hip-hop and the sports news, and you like everything that Sheababy's bringing to the table, make sure you like and subscribe. You already know the vibe.
How you think creates how you feel. How you feel becomes an emotion. That emotion becomes a vibration. That vibration becomes a magnet that attracts things to you. Everything that happens to you, good or bad, it's with this. It's what you think, you heard? So you got to make sure that you always thinking positive. And you got to understand this, homie. I am enough. I am a God. I am protected. When you move in and you outside, you got to always have your mind on that. 20 years from now, all y'all going to wish y'all was the age y'all are right now. Or be happy that you did the right thing with the age you at. Because the youth is wasting on the young. These y'all best years. Don't waste them getting in problems with police, chasing stupid bitches. Don't be in your emotions. Never let your emotions supersede your intelligence. Okay? A lot of times we don't have nobody teach us how to be men out here because we don't have no daddies, or our daddies is goofies, or our daddy in the house, but he not in tune. You heard? So you got to damn to become your own daddy. You heard? Y'all really raising yourself. You know what I'm saying? So hold on.
Don't chase Diddy. All right, so here go the smoke.
All right, so we've got Diddy. It's been a little minute since we talked about Diddy on this channel. And since the last time we have talked about it, there have been a ton of developments, right? But today we're talking about Diddy because his trial is set to start in just about a week. Jury selection starts on May 5th. And if convicted, Diddy is looking at a mandatory minimum of 15 years and up to life in prison if he's convicted. He is facing a 5-count federal indictment in the Southern District of New York that includes 1 count of racketeering, 2 counts of trafficking by force, fraud, and coercion, and 2 counts of interstate transportation for solicitation. Diddy has pled not guilty to all counts up to this point, and just 5 days ago on April 25th, 2025, prosecutors revealed that they actually offered him a plea deal at some point during this whole thing, a plea deal that he rejected. Now, we don't know what was offered in the plea deal. It hasn't been revealed. We don't know how much time they were offering him, but for whatever reason, he decided he didn't want to take a plea. He wants to take it all the way to trial. And so now is a great time to go over everything that we probably can expect to see from the trial. Now, this is a federal case, so this won't be live streamed like you see a lot of other cases being live streamed on YouTube. There's really not going to be any footage of what goes down. The only thing that we're going to know throughout the trial and until it's over is whatever court reporters tell us, whatever the journalists that are in the courtroom tell us and post, and whatever is said to media after each court date. Now, keep in mind, this federal case is different than all of the civil cases that Diddy has been facing over the last year or two. All right, a lot of what's going on in them civil cases has nothing to do with these federal charges. So we're only going to speak about in this video what Diddy is facing criminally and what we can expect as trial progresses. So like I said, jury selection starts on May 5th, right? And jury selection in this case is going to be paramount to the outcome of the case. Diddy obviously has a major celebrity status. This case has a ton of notoriety. And so selecting an impartial jury for this case is going to be a delicate and possibly lengthy process. The court has already scheduled about 1 week for them to do what's called voir dire, which is basically where lawyers get to question prospective jurors and they kind of evaluate them to see if they're going to be able to give an impartial and fair analysis of the facts of the case with an open mind. Right? Given the nature of what Diddy is charged with, how big the case is, and all the other factors, it could be hard to find jurors that aren't already biased. Not to mention that there have been numerous documentaries dropped about this whole Diddy situation. There have been nonstop media reports about it. Millions of people have been made aware of what's going on in this case in some form or fashion. And so when they're doing these questions to try to figure out who's going to make it into the jury pool, they're going to be asking things like, what do you think about questions that are going to make potential jurors uncomfortable? And they're going to have to do that in order to find people that aren't already biased to somebody doing freaky things like Diddy has done, or at least has allegedly done. People that will be able to hear the facts of the case and understand that somebody may be freaky consensually. It doesn't necessarily mean that it's criminal. Not saying that it's not criminal. The jury will have to decide that, but they're going to have to specifically find people that are already biased bias to that type of activity when done in a legal way, if that makes sense. So that could take quite a while to do. I can think of a few cases where jury selection has taken an astronomical amount of time. One example would be the YSL trial. Jury selection in that case took 10 months to complete. Granted, that was the state doing that. This is the federal government that's charging Diddy, but I mean, it could be a very lengthy process. Diddy's lawyers have already proposed a detailed questionnaire of 72 questions that are going to cover the jurors' backgrounds and attitudes. Some of those questions will be about the central issues at the heart of the case, like exposure to media coverage, views on sexual matters, personal experience with abuse, lifestyles and morals, racial or celebrity bias. These are things that they're going to ask the jury pool about. Obviously, the prosecutors have pushed back on some of that, saying that the questionnaire was overly extensive and that prying into sensitive and personal topics was unnecessary. And the government likely fears that a long, invasive questionnaire might deter jurors or lead to self-disqualifications. I'm sure that the judge in this case will probably strike a balance in between what both sides want. It definitely won't be the whole 72 question questionnaire that the defense is suggesting. But at the end of the day, there will be a jury selected and they're going to have to hear about everything that's went on in this case. One piece of evidence that they're going to be able to see is apparently the video of Diddy whooping Cassie's ass in the hallway that was broadcast to the whole world by CNN. The judge approved that as evidence the other day. And of course, Cassie is going to be involved in this trial. She's probably going to testify against Diddy. There's 4 victims in total in this case. Cassie is victim 1. We don't know who the other victims are. Their names have not been released and all of the court documents that have been put out, it's redacted. So we don't really know much about any of the other accusers other than what they are accusing him of. Cassie is obviously going to give testimony about their decade-long relationship. She is likely going to give testimony about the freak-offs, and she's going to probably provide a first-hand account of many of the allegations that are in the indictments. The other 3 victims, victim 2, 3, and 4, are probably going to testify to having similar experiences. And while we don't know much, the public don't know much about who these victims are, Diddy does know who they are. You know, this information has been revealed to him and his team, just not to the public. So they'll be giving their testimony, and then there will be other supporting witnesses, you know, like professionals, doctors, employees, and associates, probably some law enforcement. We seen in the original DOJ complaint that they said that he was using his employees, high-ranking supervisors, security staff, personal assistants, and household staff as intermediaries to arrange travel and hotel rooms for these freak-offs, stock the hotel room, and make sure they were prepped for these freak-offs, or even to locate women and other individuals who he targeted for abuse. We may see some of those people get up there and testify. We've seen the DOJ say that Diddy also would assault witnesses to his abuse. So we may see witnesses get up there and testify against Diddy. People that seen these things happening, because apparently they're alleging that he also was abusive to them. We might also hear about digital evidence being used. We know that the indictment stated that Diddy often electronically recorded these sessions. And we've seen prosecutors indicate that these videos do exist, though due to their explicit nature, they plan to use them carefully. But we know that they say that they have at least a couple of videos. Those might end up getting played in front of the jury. Because remember, Diddy's whole thing was that
All right, so I saw what Charles said. Can Diddy do a 5 to 8? Diddy don't want to do not one more day in jail. Diddy, they already offered him something. I think they offered him like 20 years. He said no. I ain't gonna offer the nigga 20 years. He's like 56, 57. Come on, man. They're trying to disrespect this man. Yeah. This man want out now. He wants out today, tonight. He wants out. He's hoping he's out of there by June, man. You know what I mean? But Diddy don't know. They're going to stretch this out like 2-3 years. He's in there for a minute, fam. Tell him. Sheababytv. Yeah. He in there for a minute, fam. It's nasty. It's real nasty. I don't know what to say about him, man. You know, it's to a point where it's like, you know, I feel like he's, you know, he might have to catch the L for this one, man. He might have no choice. You know, it seems like, you know, like they want Diddy, and that's foul. That's facts. That's messed up.